everyone, this is Build Series, and I'm your host, Brittany Jones-Cooper. And today I'm chatting with actress and model Ruby Rose. Rose burst onto the scene as Stella in Orange is the New Black, and now she's suiting up to save Gotham in CW's Batwoman, where she plays Cain, Batman's cousin, who steps in after the Dark Knight mysteriously disappears. Take a look.
This isn't the story I expected to be telling. 3 years ago, when Batman mysteriously disappeared, it divided Gotham.
Crows represent order, security.
The crows are not the hero of this story, Gotham. I want to take power.
I need you to fix his suit.
The suit is literal perfection.
It will be, when it fits a woman. Batwoman.
Put your hands together for Ruby Rose.
I feel like I'm not meant to put my hands. I said I feel like I'm not meant to put my hands together.
You can snap maybe.
I'm just like, very like when a room does something, I want to do the same thing. Hi guys. It feels like we're doing an interview in like a house, like in my house or something.
It's a nice little, well, when you're here,
nice.
you're home. It's very cozy here.
Yeah, I like that.
And the audience is filled with these smiling faces. I think we have a lot of DC fans, a lot of Batwoman fans.
Yeah, that's...
Which is kind of my first question. When you get into this kind of comic book world, superhero world, the fandom changes quite a bit. So just how has the buildup been for you so far to this moment, to it coming out?
I mean, honestly, I haven't really paid a lot of attention to it because I've been working like 16, 18-hour days and 6 days a week. My life is Batwoman. It's like I moved to Vancouver. I love what I do, but is it like
there's a gym upstairs.
Yeah,
so just ignore.
I was going to say it's like some sort of Jumba class. Anyway, sorry, I get very distracted very easily. That's why I like a small studio audience. Yeah, I haven't really been around for the lead up. You know, I think that had I been able to go to Comic-Con, which I sadly was unable to go to, and now people know a little bit more why, I probably would have been feeling all the energy and met a lot of people and seen my face everywhere and seen what a big deal it was in the lead up. But I think for me, as like a pretty sensitive little bunny, it's kind of nice for me to shut out all of those things and live in my little Vancouver bubble, go to work at a bat cave. I mean, that's pretty cool. And I even noticed when I showed up in New York like yesterday, I just was like, wow. I was like shell shocked, even though I've lived here before. It's a very different thing when you're in character more often or for longer hours a day than you're yourself, you know? And so it was an interesting experience.
That is an interesting way to look at it because you spend your workday playing a superhero. So that probably is like, how do you turn that off?
I'm learning. Yeah. I'm learning how to. I think, well, I do spend, I spend a fair bit of my day playing a superhero, but I spend a lot of my day playing Cain, who has been through a lot, through a lot of things, and that's the most exhausting. That's the most like emotionally, physically, spiritually exhausting part to play is taking on board all of that, knowing her story, living her story, trying to find the truth and the essence in her story, and depict it in a way that, you know, is as authentic as it can be. And that kind of means you really feel it. And I'm still learning how to leave Kate at the Batcave and take Ruby home, because sometimes it's just kind of like a blur into the next day, into the next, and then, you know, I'm like wondering why I'm sad, and then I'm like, wait a second, I can call my mum. Like she's okay. Like I don't even have a sister, let alone a dead one. So, you know, it's like you get caught into it sometimes, and I can see how it happens. You know, when you're playing a character that many hours a day.
Yeah, let's talk about Cain and Batwoman, because I know that there's different iterations of these characters throughout the DC world. So which one does this focus on? And then how did you sort of get to know Kate and Batwoman and their backstories?
I feel like we've taken a lot from a lot of the different comics. I mean, not the one where she was straight, obviously. I guess for those that don't know, Batwoman came out in, I think it was around the 50s or 60s, as a straight character to play Batman's love interest, because people were worried about Batman and Robin being gay and that there was like a gay agenda. So they introduced Batwoman and then no one cared. And so they would like, you know, kidnap her and stuff would happen, and people were like, we don't really care, we just want to get back to Batman and Robin. And so she kind of didn't work, and they sort of removed her and then brought her back, you know, much later as a gay superhero, as a lesbian, and they talked about don't ask, don't tell. She was in the military. They gave her sort of like a different entire kind of origin story. So that's obviously what we're pulling from. It'd be very strange if we're pulling from the other one. That would really shock everyone. It was like, surprise!
That would have been a scandal on Twitter.
It would have
the
been,
hashtags.
yeah, it would have been, I'm sure. But Greg Rucker, I think, is probably, as far as like the illustrations, the comics, the storyline, the dialogue, we're pulling a lot from that. And then Caroline, the showrunner and the writer, and the writer's room, you know, they stretch out comics because there's not millions of them. Do you know what I mean? Of Batwoman. So then they work out how to stretch them into longer stories and more characters and all the arcs and everything like that.
On the topic of her sexual orientation, it has become kind of like the headline of Batwoman. But how have you approached it? What are the conversations you're having as far as that part of her identity and the full scope of who she is?
I think what drew me to the project originally was I had a meeting with Caroline and Sarah, producer and showrunner, writer, and the way that they kind of discussed it with me as gay women, and also Greg Berlanti's involved, and he's a gay man, and there's a lot of gay in the show already, right? And then they were kind of talking about the fact of normalizing it, like it not being just like this is a gay story for gay people, and this is going to have like it's going to touch on all the gay things, or the lesbian things. It was just, you're not going to necessarily, sometimes when we're looking at our representation on television, film, movies, in the past and when I was growing up, it was a lot of like high school students being like, I don't know, I think I have a crush on my best friend. And then they would kiss and one would be like, oh, it's not really for me. And then the other one would be like, oh. And it like just kind of like hasn't.
I liked it, so.
Yeah, you didn't really, and you'd always have to like get the beginning, middle, and end and everything of a relationship. Whereas you don't really have to do that with like heterosexual relationships. They just exist on television. You don't have to like know the origin of when they were born and how. And so with this, it was a lot about like, we're talking about relationships she's had, you know, relationship with Sophie Moore, who she was in the military with, and the don't ask, don't tell aspects of that and what that put their relationship through. But we never like tell more than just it as any other normal couple. It's just that they're two women. So like, I guess, yeah, if you're not used to or you haven't been exposed to seeing two women in love, it's going to look different to a male and a female in love. But if that's your life and you have gay friends and family, and it's not going to look any different. It's just it's gonna feel normalized.
And it doesn't look any different. I mean, the chemistry between you two.
I mean, I think it looks kind of cuter, but
I was gonna say the chemistry is really beautiful, and I love that Sophie, in her own right, is very capable. So the whole kind of needing to be rescued dynamic is a little different, which I love seeing, like just two strong women who love each other and kind of how that plays out.
There's a lot of strong women.
Yeah.
In this, good and bad. There's a lot of strong women in this show, but I think, you know, when people talk about it being the first ever lesbian live action comic played by I mean, you put enough things in a row and it's like, well, yeah, it's going to be the first of something, isn't it? And there's Black Lightning, and there is Legends, and there have been other queer superhero icons that people think that I don't realize because I don't get to write the headlines of the articles. But it is a really big deal. I think that the reason I took on the project, you know, is the same reason why Caroline is involved and Sarah and Greg. It's that we just wish that this existed when we were young. And so now we get to make the show that we wish existed, except I get to be in it, and it's cool. And I'm on a bus and on buildings. It's very strange.
Yeah, you get to be in it, and you get to do amazing physical acting and stunts. And so let's talk about that, because you mentioned one of the reasons you couldn't go to Comic-Con was because you were dealing with this, what was it, herniated discs?
Yeah, I herniated 2 discs into my spinal cord and broke through the protective barrier, and then like basically almost severed my spinal cord. So it was like pushed right up against the wall, my spine, whatever. And if I did any rapid movements, if I would have slept funny even, or had a bad massage or whiplash in a car, anything like that, I could have been paralyzed. So I had an emergency surgery. They took them out. They put in new ones. I'm as good as new. I'm like bionic now. But when they got in there, Dr. Bray was, you know, he showed me some of the things. It's just like it had been shattered. So there were like pieces of my disc like in my spine. He's like taking them out. It was meant to take, I think, 1.5 hours or 2 hours of surgery. It took about 4 because of how bad it was when they got in there. And I've made a great recovery, which is
all the video you posted on Instagram showing all the actual surgery. Why did you want to do that for your fans?
Because for two reasons. One, I was unable to make it to Comic-Con. I was unable to make it to a few events that in the past people from similar shows have been able to make it to. And there was a lot of speculation as to like, oh, she's not even going to promote her show. Oh, she thinks this, or she thinks that, or, you know, whatever it was. And mind you, I was like unable to move, you know, recovering from spinal surgery. But I didn't want to mention it at the time to take away from the fun of Comic-Con. I wanted everyone to just be excited about the show. I didn't want there to be like a looming, like, and what's happening? And the other reason is because I think that Hollywood and the world in itself, but Hollywood especially, and what it's been based on forever is this sort of perfection idea. And that everyone, to be the best at being a Hollywood star, it's like you have to look a certain way, you have to be young, you have to be beautiful, you have to be able-bodied, you have to be, you know, not controversial, you should probably be straight. There's a lot of things there. And we're slowly like chipping away at that and showing real people and showing that everyone looks and is different and unique, and that's what makes them interesting to watch and to look up to and to, you know, whatever. And for me, I felt like I was suddenly perpetuating the exact notion that I've always felt very strongly against. And I'm already not going to fit into that thing. You know, it's like I already tick a lot of boxes that are like, oh, she's got so many tattoos. Oh, she's got short hair. Oh, she's a lesbian. Oh, she's, you know, Australian, whatever. And so I was like, oh, why not? Now I'm like a Pez dispenser. And and I wanted to own it. And I didn't want to keep lying about it. It was making me feel sick. I felt like I was in the closet because people would ask, how much are you training? How hard are the stunts? You know, you must be training vigorously. And I was like, yes, I am. And they were like, have you ever been injured doing a stunt? I was like, nothing comes to mind. And it's like, there's this huge cut against my neck because it was at the TCAs. And she was like, have you ever been injured doing any of the stunts, you know, on Batwoman? And like, black eyes. And I was like, no, absolutely not.
You're like, I got a paper cut once.
Yeah,
it was really unfortunate.
I got like a black eye and I got like maybe my lip got bumped. And I'm just like, what was that? I mean, you're meant to be an actor, do a better job. But I felt terrible. It was like, why am I lying about this? It's okay to say, no, actually, I've been unable to do that because of a really serious surgery. And we've rescheduled it so that as my recovery, you know, happened, I could go back and do parts of like 102, 103, 104 and, you know, be part of the action when I was ready.
So now are you back in the action?
Yeah, there's things I can't do.
Yeah.
There's definitely things I can't do. But I also feel like this was a very good message to me to slow down a little. And so I haven't yet, but I'm just saying I think that was the intended message was to slow down. And I'm slowly going to do that.
Why are you moving so fast? What do you mean slow down? I know you do like martial arts. You're a very physical person. Is that what you mean? Or just like life-wise, you just need to calm down?
Life-wise. Like I want to do every stunt. I want to do everything. And then I want to do my side projects, and I want to also be like a good friend, and I want to be everything to everyone. And at some point you kind of have to like, it's like having an oxygen mask, right? And it's like you need to put the oxygen mask on yourself before a kid in the plane. And I'm like, why? Why would you not put it on the kid? And then it's like, because then the kid probably can't get off the plane without an adult. Right. So for me, it was like I put the oxygen mask on my work, and then I put it on my friends that need me, and then I put it on people that are the loudest, then I put it on me, and then I put it on, you know, say a partner, and that person's already passed out, and then I got to put it on me, and I'm like not even existent. And so it was kind of reminding me like, what are my priorities? And that if I put the mask on myself first, then the rest will be easy because I can do the rest.
Is that something you really had to learn after Orange is the New Black? I mean, that really sort of catapulted you, I think, into like the zeitgeist in a way. And then I know you've done John Wick and all these other things since, but was that sort of the moment where things ramped up?
I blame turning 30.
That will change your life.
Because after Orange, I proceeded to do Resident Evil, John Wick, and Triple X all in a row. They actually overlapped. There was never like a gap in between them. I also flew from South Africa to Milan to host the EMAs in the middle of one of them, and I was fine. And then they all came out within, you know, the same month, like a year later, and I did all the press for all of it. And now I just think that as you get a little older and your body starts to feel things, you can't do everything, you know, and you still want to.
That's real. That is so real. You can't drink as much. You got to get sleep. You got to work out. You got to eat right.
Yeah. You're 20. Guys, do everything in your 20s.
Get it done.
That way you can just retire by the time you're 30-something, get a cat, farm or something. I don't know.
Isn't it amazing how tired you get in your 30s? I'm like, when I was 21, it was like, no problem.
And I'm the healthiest I have ever been. Like, I am so healthy, and I'm like, this isn't right. I was not healthy in my 20s. I was so unhealthy. Why could I do everything? But
That's why when I see a 60-year-old, like really living their best life, I'm like, you are a superhero. Like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
You're just like working out and living fully.
Totally.
You got to start
That'll
now.
be me. That'll be me next year. I'll look about 60 and I'll be working out. No, I'm just
Back to Batwoman. One thing I didn't realize is this. I knew it was part of that massive world, the Arrowverse, but I didn't understand these crossovers that happen. So I know that there's a crossover coming in December, right?
Yeah, for everyone else, it will come in December. For me, it is happening right now. So, like, when I talk about slowing down, so I'm shooting Batwoman, but then I flew here to promote the show because it's coming out next weekend. But I'm in the middle of a crossover, which is 5 different shows at the same time. And so I'm pretty sure my name is Ruby, and I'm pretty sure I'm here to promote Batwoman. But it could be, I'm not sure. So yeah, I'm exhausted, but it's amazing. We're doing Legends, Supergirl, Flash, Arrow. It's never been this big. I can't say anything else about it because anything could be a spoiler, and I don't want to do that. But it's basically like, you know, how long did the Avengers go for? Like 4 hours or something? Well, ours goes for 5. So like, it's each show. So they'll come to my show, and then I'll go to their shows, and it's basically like you will begin watching it on one, and it'll continue through the rest, and it tells a story that's kind of separate to the series. Some things end up affecting the series, but like if you've watched them over the past years, mostly it's kind of its own little like movie.
For you as an actor, what is that like, getting those scripts and piecing it together? Do you even know what it's gonna look like at the end?
I can tell what it's gonna look like. I just don't know how we're gonna do it. Like, because you get a schedule from each of the different productions. So it's like, here's your schedule for Supergirl, here's your schedule from Flash. And so like, you go through, and of course, like you're a different letter and number, because you're not just like, you know, number 1 on Batwoman. You're like, then you're like number B1. Like, it's just, you turn into like a very long number, like you're at a checkout registry, and you're like, am I milk? And so I don't even know what I'm doing tomorrow. All I know is that I fly, I get in at like 2 a.m. to Vancouver. I work tomorrow. I have scenes with words, with people, and that's all I know.
You're milk.
I'm milk. Yeah. I'm almond milk, because go vegan, save the planet. But yeah, no, I think that the scheduling is one of the hardest things. Like I just say, what are my scenes? What on earth are my scenes this week? Copy that, and then I study them, and I do the script analysis of each script before I even go into like my bits. And it's really exciting though. I feel like I get a really good part in this too. Yeah, I feel very blessed in that.
What is it like working with all the other actors? And I know there's some actors that are coming back for this as well.
There might be. I don't know. I don't know what you do and don't know. This is like an interrogation. What have you read?
Just for you, what is it like having this cast and interacting with these people?
What is it like for you just having this cast, that you think?
Well, it's been a really great experience, and
there are some people coming back, yes. And I don't know, everyone's so different. Like, Melissa is one of the sweetest, kindest girls in the world. I love her so much. I love her show so much. And even just like cinematically, the visual of Supergirl and Batwoman is so cool, you know, and because it's such a juxtaposition to Batman and Superman, you know, and it's sort of the opposite. And I love the female empowerment of that. Steven it's sad. It's going to be the last crossover. So there's a lot of emotion in that, but Steven is an amazing guy. And I look forward to working with him on this. And Katie Lotz, like, you know, the guys from Legends. It's just, and then Grant as well from Flash. It's so interesting seeing how all of our characters interact, because Kate isn't, she's not friendly, but she's also not friendly.
she's been through a lot.
She's been through a lot, and she'll be more friendly, I'm sure, at some point. I just think for now she's like, I have a lot of things I need to be doing. Why do you guys need me? What is happening? Why I need to go like do other things.
I've only seen the pilot, but from that I can tell we're going to continue to see what formed and shaped her, and there's just like a lot of She's an onion. Okay, there's a lot of things there.
There is so
we
much
got to give her
peeling
time.
back. Yeah, and she's also an onion because it will make you cry a lot. And I'm sure she'd taste great on a burger with impossible meat. Just saying, it's my favorite one.
On the topic of the cast and whatnot, there is no Batman in Batwoman. But if you could cast a Batman,
Oh, come on.
just dream, no?
No, I can think of people I would cast, but I value my life. And if I thought my casting was controversial, can you imagine me then deciding who I think Batman should be? That's a way to lose some fans. But Robert Pattinson just got cast. He's doing the film, so that's exciting. Can't wait to see how that turns out. But I just can't tell you anything. I really can't. Anyway.
Okay.
So how are you?
Well, I think maybe it's time to go to questions.
Totally.
Yeah, it's time.
Totally.
We have one from Twitter. YouTube My Therapy, that's an interesting name, asks, hi, Ruby, whenever a new opportunity presents itself, are you a spur of the moment kind of person, or do you typically consult with family and friends before making your final decision?
I am a spur of the moment person, and I should definitely be consulting with my friends and family on a more regular basis. But I guess, maybe I should YouTube therapy also.
Yeah. What's your last spur of the moment decision that you made?
I can't tell you because it doesn't come out for like 3 days after Batwoman, so then you'll know then. But I did a collaboration with someone. You'll find out, or you'll forget by the time it comes out.
Is it musical, TV, movie? Like what?
It's like a fashion collaboration.
Ooh.
And the last spur of the moment. I mean, and then I also just did an animation of an animation movie in my spare time.
So you're really slowing down.
So I'm so slow right now. If I could get some more things to do, that would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you said 30 was you're supposed to slow down, but you got.
Well, yeah, I'm 33 though, so you know.
Yeah.
But I would also say releasing that video, that was a spur. I didn't ask anyone if I could do that because I knew I probably couldn't. So so that's what you do sometimes when you need to do something for yourself. You just ask yourself.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you giving us that Grey's Anatomy moment. It meant a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure. And anyone that was watching, I'm sorry. Like if you were eating at the same time, anyone that's scared of opening necks at a very close lens camera and seeing thing hammered into someone's spine, all those things, like really sorry. But at least it wasn't you.
That's such a tease. You guys all want to go watch that video now, right? After that description.
I did give it a warning.
Yeah, you did. Who has the first? Right here.
Hi, Ruby.
Hi.
I'm Markel. Nice to meet you. So I was curious. I know you were mentioning, funny enough, in your interview here that you spend a lot of time with your characters. Like you've played a lot of different characters. So I was just curious, which of the characters do you feel the most comfortable with, as well as which of the characters can you see yourself befriending?
Ooh. I would like to be friends with Kate in time. I'd like to be Kate's funny friend, that just like can cheer her up and get her out of her like broodingness. I would say I'm the closest with Kate. It's difficult because I've just played a lot of assassins and so forth. So like I'm not sure I don't want to be friends with them necessarily. They might come in handy, but I don't know. Like you don't want to play Cards Against Humanity, lose to an assassin. And like you can't really go shopping with an assassin because it's like meet my family. No, don't meet them. That's my family. Don't meet them. And in Pitch Perfect, I just played like a mean girl. So like I mean, what am I going to do with that in my life? There's plenty of them out there. And she was good on the guitar, but she wasn't like great. Like she wasn't that good that I'd be friends with her. I think Stella was nice, but she was an inmate and. So that friendship could have been difficult also. I think Kate, Kate has been my most full-bodied character with a full history from birth until now and beyond even what we're at now on the show. And she has a family dynamic and she has relationship and she has trauma and she has pain and suffering, but then she has hope. She has so much hope. And she is a fighter, but not just of the physical nature. It's like she is really there to find her purpose. And I think everyone at some point in their life has wondered what their purpose is and worked really hard to find out what it is. And in her case, and in some people's cases, you think you found your purpose and life says, just kidding. That's not it. And that's what happened with her with the military. I mean, she really thought that was her purpose. Like a lot of people did who were in the military only to be kicked out for who they loved. And so real life people had to also pivot and be like, what's my purpose now? And why was I not good enough to stand for my country? And so with her, it's like, it's been an absolute pleasure and blessing to play her, but it has been obviously very emotional, but that's why I'm the closest and the most protective of her. I feel like a lot of my other characters, while they were fun, or they were action-packed, or they were funny, or they were, whatever, and I learned something from each of them, I've been given the most with her. A lot of people, I had to create my own backstories, which is also a great way of acting and learning, but it's not the same as having as much as what I have now. And a film that I have done but hasn't come out yet, SAS, I play a sociopath. So I'm not sure I want to be her friend either. And then after that, I play a doorman. I could probably be the doorman's friend. Okay. Yeah, she was nice to a cat. Nice. Yeah.
Get you a cab,
Yeah, she can make a cab. She can cook mint sauce. It'll make sense in like 3 years when that movie comes out.
Get your UPS packages. Thank you for your question.
Hi, Ruby.
Hi.
What is the best lesson you've learned on the set of Batwoman?
Probably, it's really taught me how to let go of a lot of things. It's really taught me how to be in the moment, and because you don't get a lot of time, you get a script and you have like a week to film something that's, say, basically an hour-long program. Whereas in films, you already know the beginning, middle, and end. You get the script and you learn the script, and some things change, and you have a couple of months to shoot it, and then you're done. This is like, I kind of have a general idea of what the Bible is of the character and what will happen in the show, but every week I get a new script, and there's something in there where I'm like, I didn't know about that. That's new. And it's shocking, and so I don't have as much time to like worry about the lines and worry about the this and the that. It's like you're living in the moment of it, and you're making decisions, and you're becoming faster. Like your memory is a muscle, and like I read scripts faster than I ever did. I can memorize lines faster than I ever did. It's like I can just rock up and be like, great, I've got that. Whereas I used to have a lot of trouble retaining, long pieces of dialogue. So I think it's taught me how to let go and just like live in it and have fun. It's the other thing is I just like have fun, because when you're doing something for 18 hours a day, you have to have fun or it's going to be a long day. So I think that's the main thing, and I'm really happy about that.
Next question.
Hi, I'm Adriana.
Hi.
My question for you is, how do you think Batwoman's going to influence young girls in their careers and stuff?
I mean, I'm no god, so I don't know. I would hope that the only person I can speak on is myself. So the only reference I have is myself. And if I think about me being 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 and watching this show, I mean, even at 18, it's like I waited till, what did I get? I mean, I had Xena Warrior Princess. That was kind of close. There was like a maybe or something with Gabrielle. But I waited to that. And then, sorry, my lips are very dry. Fun. Oh, you had a close-up too. Thanks, guys. I'm going to find out who's operating that camera. But I waited till like the L Word. I mean, that was like the first time I got any representation. And even that I had to like, I was a little young to watch, so I had to like sneak it at 11. And it was like on like 11 p.m. at night on a school night. So for me, it's like I think of what it would have meant for me going to school, being bullied for my sexuality, not being accepted, feeling like the only gayer in the village, as we used to joke about, and feeling completely alone and like no one would understand. It's like something of this level of mainstream on like such a mainstream network that is being like publicized literally all over the city and in LA and all around America and all around the world, and become such a big show that they're pushing from the network, which means a lot. It means that it's going to be in people's houses, and it's going to be on people's computers, and it's going to be however they can watch the show and hopefully touch a lot of lives. And I think it would have made a big difference for me growing up. Knowing me, I would have been like, well, Batwoman's gay. Like, I didn't get to say that. It's like, it didn't quite work when you're like, well, Xena could be potentially bisexual. So yeah, I think it's cool.
That's why it's extra special that I think it's on the CW, because of the viewers for the CW are typically younger, and everything you're saying, I think visibility-wise, just has that much more importance on a network like this.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next one.
Hi, Ruby.
Hi.
I'm Pamela, and you were amazing in the crossover, and I can't wait to see the show. My question is, what superhero did you want to be growing up?
I kind of wanted to be Batman. I didn't know about Batwoman growing up. I really just knew about like I also wanted to be a Ninja Turtle. I wanted to be Leonardo. Yeah, Leonardo is my boy. So mad that Jason Biggs got that role. Like, come on, I was born for that. I was born for that role. But a Ninja Turtle, Batman. I kind of liked Superman's little thing. So like that, I would do that in the shower sometimes. I'd like slick my hair back and give myself a little. But yeah, they're kind of the main ones. There wasn't a lot of females that I felt represented me. So I thought Poison Ivy was hot. I thought Catwoman was hot, but I didn't want to play those characters, you know. And Wonder Woman, I was like, I don't know, I have nothing to do with that. It's a whole lot of women for me. You know, as like a young child, I mean. Is this live? Does this get edited? Oh, hi, guys.
Oh, hello, world. I was just thinking, though, when you were saying that so many little girls are going to have Ruby. They're going to have Batwoman now. And I can imagine, like, this Halloween is going to be so much fun for that reason. I mean, I think the superhero culture that we're living in, that's just so, you know, we see it everywhere. But I do think this character specifically is going to resonate with so many people.
I think it's really good because the last time I had a character that influenced people to dress up, it was Stella from Orange. So we just had a lot of inmates out there. And, you know, and inmate children, people dress their tiny child, like newborn babies as prisoners.
Tiny felons, yeah.
Tiny felons. And, you know, I was worried because it wasn't just the year I was in it, or the 2 years, it carried on until even like a couple of years ago. And I was like, what if there was an actual outbreak at a prison and no one would know because everyone that's dressing up at Halloween, walking down the street is dressed as an inmate. And it kept me up at night. Yeah. Whereas now, like, this is a much healthier alternative, I think.
Female empowerment costumes just for years and years and years going with Batwoman.
I think that's I think that's good.
I like
that. I like
Progress.
That message. Yeah. Progress, not perfection.
Well, guys, if you want to check out Batwoman, it premieres on Sunday, October 6th at 8/7 Central on the CW. Put your hands together for Ruby Rose.